Good afternoon. I just had a quick look then to see whether it was actually afternoon, and it isn't. We've got another 3 minutes till it's noon. So good morning.
It's the Crafty Nana.
Now I had a request to do a little close-up and tell on the things on my wall in front of my desk and in my little cabinet besides my desk. So as I'm about to move house and I've got to pack it all away, I thought I'd better quickly do it. But understand, it's not in the most tidy, splendiferous state. It's just the way it is. You off now? He's off now. My cat likes to sit in the window and see the world go by. So let's get started with no further ado. My desk is a mess. But that's because I'm always making things. I make them, my cat then jumps on my desk, thunders across it and breaks them. So sometimes things that I've made have to be remade because he's very, very clumsy. But anyway, so my desk is as it is and I'm in the middle of all sorts of projects. But let's have a look. So in this corner there is a very strange mirrored cabinet. Very, very odd. It's all wonky. It stands away from the wall. It's very, very strange. On the top of it, there are little tiny Japanese miniatures. In the second one, there's a real dried frog. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because of the glare on the glass. A little dancing frog in there. And I made a little frog on the top of the bottle. More Japanese bits. And then that has got two little clay miniature lizards in it that I made by hand. There's a little skull bottle there. The next one, there's a potion of squid ink with a squid on it that I just made. Whoop, goes my potion bottle. And then there's a wheelie bug, a bug that winds up and runs along. There's a little jar full of snakes there with a snake on the lid. What's at the bottom? Let's have a look at the bottom. Oh, the bottom's just got a thing waiting to be done. Then there's a little chair there that I made for my grandchild's Monster High dolls a long time ago, and it's got a book of spells with a chain on it and an eyeball, and it's got a snake waiting to be painted. There's a crate of booze next to that, just obviously for a bad night. Bookshelf full of miniature little books that I've made over time, and a few potions. More potions. A bird in a cloche. There's a dead lizard in that one, a real dead lizard. This one's got, I think this one's got a real wasp in it. Yep, that's a real wasp in that one. They've all got the labels where I can find labels that match what's in them, I put them on. That is a baby dragon that again I think I made for my grandchild. Again, I'm not sure how much you'll see because it's the plastic glare. There's little miniature butterflies. Bugs. Oh, this artwork is done by me. This is a real scorpion. I'm sort of starting at one end and working across, so this is the same end. This one is the two cicadas that I had to make the heads for that I found in Brunei. Got little frogs sitting on those. Carved ivory frogs from Cambodia. Absolutely beautiful. Little scorpion on top of the real scorpion. This is the case of bugs I did. Unfortunately, the top bug's taken a flying leap and is making out with the bug below it, so I've got to do something about him. My daughter embroidered this bee. These are little bee artworks that I did over time, all with hand marble paper. This is by my grandmother, ice skating on the Thames. I think she'd have done that round about 1914, 1910, about then. So we come back down again. So many things. Little snake in there that I made. Little frog in there that I made. Cat claws in there. Little miniature frog sitting on a chest. Again, lots and lots and lots of little tiny, tiny bottles, little stacks of books, loads of little jars full of eyeballs, actually beads, of course, and on the top is a cat and a little fish that I made. And these are real ivory skulls that I think I picked up in Bali. This one had 2 flies on it. One fly seems to have gone. I'll have to find another fly to stick on there. I wanted those really bright, shiny, green metallic ones. You can find them dead on a windowsill. I'll have to put another one on there. Little tiny seashells. My parents, both of whom are no longer with me. A little sort of 3D death's head moth that I made. Little bees and keys and fish skeletons and seahorses. Amber and coral and peridot and barnacles and spider potions, all sorts of stuff on there. A 3D heart that I made. I cast the frames in plaster from a mould that I made. This is one of my 3D bugs, which I've jewelled and put over a frame with hand marble paper. Little miniature bat that I did. Some spooky pictures, some nice artwork by other people. Yes, literally things stuffed in every single corner you can imagine. This one I put temporary tattoos on my bugs. Lovely little lawyer lady. To get rid of stress, she does these. The backgrounds of these are both her artworks. I absolutely love her stuff. I can't remember her name off the top of my head because the trouble is it's Chinese and I don't pronounce it properly. A little bee one in there with a little marquisite bee. More bee ones, more bee ones. Down here we've got a little set of magic wands. And when I say little, I do mean little. Absolutely minuscule. Voodoo doll. I think that's one of my molars in that pot. Some little potion bottles, cactuses, all sorts of bits and pieces. There's a couple of cats just hanging out on a chair here. A little Japanese table there besides them. A pumpkin lying on its side. There's a pumpkin with a mouse on it. On a pumpkin bottle. That's my jewellery stand I made. A little fireplace there. The mirrors above the fireplace. I think, oh, that's got a little bug that I made, tiny little bug in that one. I don't think I can get any closer. The portraits. That was a little witch actually. Witch's portrait. Crystal balls. Cats, clocks. I've even put twigs in the fireplace. We've got more books, more potions, little scrolls, all sorts there. Very noisy cat. So, above that we've got some crows that I drew. I was trying to show my kids that you can do white outline on black to make art. A rather gorgeous thing. I think it's a locust. This is another piece of art that I did, which is cicadas. There's another cicada one down here as well. So that's a common theme in here. We've got bugs, resin bugs. We've got bugs all around my clock just because I thought it would be cooler that way. Another bug, that's a scratch art bug, which I thought was rather fabulous. These skeletons came from Bali as well. 2 ginormous bugs here that I drew. One whilst I was in Thailand, one I did here. These little pottery frames I've been collecting, but they're very heavy to hang. It's another little shrine that I made with bugs in it, using the real bug casings. Another bug there. All on hand marble paper. These I just had so much fun with. Just layering them all up with all sorts of bits of copper and bits of metal and stuff. There's another longhorn beetle there, all covered in jewels and fancy schmancy bits. So he started out just as a plastic beetle and I just played with him. There's another giant beetle there. This one has got a gold leaf just spotted on him. There's another little mirror I made with dragonflies with copper wings, a little bit of soldering around the edges. I quite like that. Another butterfly there. One of my earlier bugs which are not so good. Another real butterfly there. That's one of my artworks there. That was, I think that was Snow White. I think it was Snow White. I don't know if you can see, but behind her head there are squirrels and all sorts drawn into the background. And then I use hot glue and metal tape. So that's my desk and the things on my desk. Let's have a look at the little cabinet. I have to come past the cat who's determined to find things going on in his neighbourhood. Yes, darling, I know. So a jar full of wands, or a vase, sparkly vase full of wands, only the wands have been taken over by Scabbers the rat and flying mice and all sorts of things that I'm working on in needle felting. So it's like a needle felty tree, really. This is a puppet of me that I made with a children's workshop that I was doing, getting them all to make puppets. I think so that she's the Crafty Nana puppet. My desk here has got all sorts of things. So this is the spider that I just fixed. I just given him another coat of paint on his bum because he didn't have a bum, bless him. So he can go back up here. He's got a friend waiting for his bum because his friend's bumless as well. So I put him up here with his friend. Now in this one we've got a giant flying beetle that had lost his nose, but I've given him a new nose. There's a bat potion in the corner there. Am I standing in the light? Let's put some more light on this. So flying beetle, bat potion. There's a green glass, antique Victorian green glass jug in the back there. Decanter really, with a green clay dragon wrapped all the way around it. And a little matching label. Skull. This is that little cat that was a colourful cat and I painted him to be a little skeleton cat. That's a little pot full of wasps and bees and bugs. That's full of cockroaches. There are real cockroaches and rubber cockroaches that I use for costumes and things. Skelly Grow at the back, a big bottle of Skelly Grow. That is a skull of a bird. I can't remember which bird it was now, but it's a skull of a bird. That's actually a bird claw of a... Not sure whose claw or what claw, but it's a claw. I started putting all my beads and sparkles and diamonds in these little pots because I think it looks nicer than having them all in plastic containers like that, all shoved up on the side. So yeah, they're there. Whole thingy of sodalite because I plan to use that soon. This is just a little Halloween thingy I made out of a broken old decoration. I made all the little pumpkins and put the picture in and everything. Serpent's potion at the back there I've just made a little serpent stopper for that. This box at the back is full of all sorts of creepy things. It's got bones of creatures and bumblebees and seed pods and starfish, and I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but it's absolutely full. That's a kingfisher skull in there. Lots of things anyway. In this one at the back there is a dried frog, and again the glare might be too much for you to be able to see it, but there is a real dry frog in there. These are porcupine quills. We do have porcupines here. My husband found a dead one. I said grab the quills. He did. He's a good lad. Love potion. Poison. This one's octopus ink, and again I just made an octopus stopper to go on it. Another pot of jewels. This is a nice piece of crystal that I found at JJJ. This little tin here is full of teeth. This has got my teeth, my kids' teeth, the kitten's teeth, all sorts of teeth. Little gilt box. I see that it's now broken. That's a shame. But yes, I've had that a long, long time, obviously. Seashells, cat's whiskers, and it is full of cat whiskers. There's some seed pods at the back there that I just thought were really rather interesting. They look like they might eat people, so I kept those. It's got a nice frog on the cap there. Blinding Darkness, I think that was a poison perfume bottle, and I just thought it would make a good potion bottle. Those are little snails that I put on this bottle here, and it's actually full of snail shells. I use those in all sorts of arts and crafts. That's a little mandrake root. He's in his pot, just sitting there chilling. Yeah, so that's that. All sorts of other strange and wonderful things. These are all findings from my jewellery. And here we have a giant bee and a giant bug having a fight. Some fighting giant bugs and metal elf ears that just hook over your ears and dangle. Quite cute. Fairy, skull, and back to me. There's a few little potions stuffed in there behind. These are the seeds of a tree that looked like little red hearts. I collected those over time. Now, I have got another whole cabinet of curiosities in the sitting room, but I think as we're getting so close to moving now that I'm not going to be doing that now, but maybe when we get to the next place I'll give you a little tour around that cabinet as well. But I hope you enjoyed this. I know that I'm fairly potty and things I have on my walls and in my cabinets are very odd and strange, but it gives me joy, and if it gives you joy, that's what's important. Anyway, bye from now from the Crafty Nana, and I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend. Bye for now.